Hello, you guys. Welcome back to another video on this channel, another story time at that. It has been a while. Okay, the elephant is definitely in this room. I appreciate anybody who cares because I really can't take YouTube seriously as if it were making me that money because I know it will make me that money. And I love it and I'm passionate and I love the community and I love feeling like I make an impact and I just have fun recording and editing and all that. Don't get me wrong. Y'all, I've been gone for almost 2 weeks, not because of any BS, not because of any breaks, even though like breaks are valid. I have been sick. I've literally seen memes about who else is sick as around Christmas, and it wasn't just me. Boom. I was hit with sickness. My brother came home with that cough. I went Christmas shopping with my brother. I started to have that cough, and I was sick all the way up, y'all. Sore throat, body ache, barely getting any sleep. My man took me to urgent care literally the day after Christmas because I just couldn't do it anymore. I just couldn't do it. It was like one of those things where it's like I felt so sick, so on the verge, and then it's like they don't really know what it is. They just give me some medicine for the cough and to numb my throat and all that. That's the main thing. That's why I was not about to get up here and record for YouTube when my throat was on fire 24/7. Hurt to eat, hurt to drink. Anyway, we're past that. That's my excuse. But I'm back and I'm feeling much better. I feel like it's almost out of my system by now. Thank you guys for being patient. To those who care, anyone still keeping up with my reels, keeping up with me on Instagram or TikTok. I had a great Christmas. I hope you guys did too. If you celebrate, and I hope you guys have a good New Year's and just a good rest of this year. This will be going up New Year's Eve. So, yeah. Now, when I said we're back with story time at that, y'all. It's another dating app one here for you guys. Now, I am a girl who can actually say I found a relationship from a dating app, something I never thought I would say. But trust me, it's not rainbows, it's not sunshine. It took a lot to get here. And this is one of the stories. This is actually the first guy I really talked to on a dating app and how it turned out. Y'all see the title. The boy who cried relationship but didn't want a relationship. Everybody has a story like this. Let's be real. Everybody has a story like this. But here is my story. I just think it's funny to laugh at because what was that? We all think like that about our life and our dating life. So let's get right into it. I ended up coming across this guy. We matched. I told you I have a bad habit of going after guys who are not that close. Even though I put my proximity at like 30 miles, this guy was like 50 miles away, like an hour away. But we still matched and he slid in the dating app DM. You know, he was the typical like, hey, you're pretty, whatever. What are you looking for? I looking for, oh, joking about the type of stuff we see on the dating apps. And then I'm very blunt, y'all. Like I immediately plug in his Instagram, like just to start. Like you can tell, like I tell y'all, especially as a black woman, it's so important to do your research before you even give these boys a time of day. Like I'm looking up that Instagram. I'm looking up what the following ratio looks like. I'm looking at all this stuff. And I remember it said like followed by. I said, because he's from an hour away. It was actually a cousin. And it's like it was a cousin that I'm not like close with like that, but I know. And I just thought it was funny. I was like, oh, like I plugged in your Instagram, you know my cousin. He's like, who's your cousin? I'm like, so and so's my cousin. He's like, oh, he's hella cool. Like we grew up in the church together. This and that. I'm like, oh, cool. Like, yeah, he's my cousin. I don't really talk to him like that. And he's like, yeah, he's someone who's more of a childhood friend. We just don't really like connect like that anymore. I'm like, okay, cool. And he's like, well, don't just like look at my Instagram. Follow me, corny ass. So I'm like, okay, I'll follow you. I follow him. He follows me back, and we're just like chatting. And I remember we were just like chatting about something, y'all. I think this was the first red flag. I mentioned something I always love to ask guys, like, how long do you think a talking stage is? I believe in the 3 month rule. Boy, you should love me by 3 months. Fuck you mean? Like, he did not have a good answer to that. He had an answer that I would cringe at. I don't remember what it was. It was too long, or it just depends on the vibe. And I was very blunt with him. Like, I play no games, like I said, in the long healing journey I've had. Like, I'm Straight up. I'm like, oh, it would take you that long? Well, I wouldn't be around that long. Like, I was just straight up about it. Like, I'm not gonna like wait and do all the relationship things and like, no, I was like, well, like, I'm very honest. I'm Scorpio, y'all. I was like, wow, that's a crazy answer. I was literally like, wow, that's a crazy answer. It's not the answer I was looking for, whatever. And I remember I was out while I was texting him. Like, I wasn't mean, but it was kind of like playful. Like, when you're not trying to be too mean, but you're still like, nigga, you're tripping. you know? And I remember he was like, yeah, no, I get your side too. Like, I think this would be something good to talk about, like on the phone. And I was like, okay, well, I'm out now, but I can tell you when I get home. He's like, okay. So I get home and he's like, okay, like you wanna talk? You wanna get on the phone? I'm like, yeah, I sent him my number and boom, we start talking, y'all. Let's say it's maybe like 5-ish, okay? And just off the bat, y'all, you know how first conversations are awkward. We didn't even end up talking about the talking stage thing. Like we was just talking about whatever. Like it's just a hi, hey, what are you doing? Eating. Like y'all know how awkward it is when he first. But it picked up honestly really fast. One thing we bonded over, which is probably one thing y'all are gonna comment that was a red flag in itself. I don't I don't really know that many Scorpio men as a Scorpio. I love being a Scorpio. I always hear they're terrible and to stay away. We bonded over being a Scorpio. He was like, oh my God, you're a Scorpio? I'm a Scorpio. When's your birthday? Oh my God, we're like 10 days apart. I don't know. I'm making a guess. It was something like that. In the first 2 hours, it was crazy, y'all, because it just seemed like that whole Scorpio, like it just seemed like we were so similar. Like it seemed like that was really twin. We were like, oh my God, you feel this way about this. I feel this way about this. You deal with this problem. I deal with this problem. Like that's exactly how I feel. That's exactly how I feel. Like it was just like that. Like we were just laughing. We seemed so similar. We seemed so like, until it started getting to, when you gotta ask a little bit about the past. I forgot for this story, I need to give him a name. We're gonna call him Airhead because that's what he acted like. So, Airhead proceeds to tell me a little bit about his past. If you guys are from Southern California, if you guys have already seen my he ghosted me the day of the date story time, I have a strong feelings about IE men. If you're not from SoCal, you don't know what that is. It's an area where the men are charming and then terrible, right? This guy happened to be another guy from that area, right? So, so yeah, y'all know when you can't stand a certain type of dude or a certain type of dudes from that area, and you tell that dude about it, and you tell them how you can't stand them, and they want to say a lot of this and talk about how much they're not like the people from the area. That's what he was doing. So I'm like, okay, tell me a little bit about your past. So then he starts to tell me about his cheating past, how he was a college athlete, how he used to cheat on his girlfriend, and then a couple of years into the relationship, she cheated back, and he feels like he got his karma, but she never even found out he cheated. But he feels like his karma was getting cheated on by her with women, and I'm just like, oh. Didn't you? Oh, so you. So he's telling me all this, and like I said, y'all, I'm a Scorpio. I try so hard not to be mean, even though I know I still come off mean a lot because what can I say? It's in my nature. I say I'm not judgmental. When I say I'm not judgmental, I mean I'm very open minded. I mean I always try to come at things from every perspective. You know what I'm saying? I don't judge people when they do things that aren't hurting, that some people might think that are strange, but to me, if it's not hurting them or someone else, it's not a big deal. Hell yeah, I'm gonna judge you for cheating. You trying to date me? He trying to date me, telling me he used to be a cheater. Yes, I'm judging. Like, I'm sorry. So I remember, like, literally, he told the whole story. I was like, oh, okay, so you are like the guys from that area. I remember he's like, well, dang, but yeah, like, I'm not like that anymore. Like, he was older than me, too. He was like 4 or 5 years older than me. So college for him was like 4 or 5 years ago. Come in. You want to say hi to the story time? Turn the light off. Say hi.
Hi. Hi, my name is Amara Daywithigan.
And y'all, honestly, I'm one of those people who like believes people can change, but it's just like I judge people for cheating. Like, I'm not gonna lie, if you told me you cheated on someone, I don't really want to date you because it's just like I already see you have that in you. Like, dang, especially if it's like physical, like you someone else, which is what he did. I'm like, ugh. Like I said, I am because I'm such an empath. Like I put myself in her shoes. I'm like, dang, ew, this boy did that. He's living the college the college basketball player identity, and she never even found out. I was like, you don't think like that's kind of messed up that you were never honest? He's like, no, because I feel like my like it was just like, and I remember he was all like, I feel like very judged by you. Like even though you're not saying it, I feel judged. And like I said, I was just like, well, I am judging you. Like serious, y'all. I just don't be having tolerance. People can change, but I don't want to give them the opportunity to change with me. Like when people say something like that, I just be cool. I just be, like I should be trying to protect myself. But I remember we just had like a conversation when again it just felt like weird like he was just like I get it, blah 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 blah, and then we just like got to laughing and I was like, well, I'm not trying to make you look like it was weird. It was weird how the conversation just like mended itself, even though I was ready to hang up the phone on him. Anyways, y'all, that conversation, like I said, the way somehow it's been from me wanting to get off the phone with him to me being a little nicer and understanding. Y'all, why did that night this is like the half one of the story. Why did that man end up telling me all his business, y'all? I don't know. It's something I love about being who I am, being the empath I have. Obviously, I'm not going to talk about everything because he told me about traumatic shit, childhood trauma, all that. And I don't really judge people for like telling me too quick. Sometimes I wonder why. I don't know what I did to make you that welcome, but I guess I am happy I make people feel welcome. Y'all, it was a whole therapy session telling me about childhood trauma, adult trauma, how this affected him, how he's never even spoke to anyone about this. Um, I'm talking about other stuff. I'm telling him to use the right language. I'm telling him his feelings are y'all. We were, mind you, we were on the phone from like 5, and we stayed on the phone till like 5, 4, maybe. Just talk. It was a whole therapy session. He getting all deep, like this is really scaring me. I never felt like I met someone so similar to me, someone who like understands me this quickly off the bat. Like I really feel like heard, and like I like all these things are coming up and realizations are coming up about like these things I've been through that I've never felt. It was just weird, y'all. It was weird. So yeah, it was just one of those conversations that just got really deep and like really bonding off the first chat. But one thing I forgot to mention, I'm getting ahead of myself. Around the time where we were talking about the whole his airhead past, I remember like I had said one thing about like talking stages. I was like, "Are you the type of person like let's see if you got that Scorpio loyalty? Are you the type of person like when you talk to people, do you talk to one person at a time? Do you believe in exploring your options if there's not a title? Because I'm a one person at a time ass bitch, and I'm not dealing with anything less. Like I literally told him that. Like if someone were to be like, no, I like my options, I'd be like, okay, bye. Like because I'm like I'm not gonna force you to choose me. You can do what you want. You know, everyone has free will, and I know plenty of people date like that. Great, find someone else who dates like that, and I'll find someone who dates one at a time, who's always been about me since day one, like my now man. You know what I'm saying? Like I completely believe in free will. I'm not gonna try to force or change anyone's views. And this was red flag. I don't even know what red flag I'm on. It's one of those things where a boy answers your question, but he tries to morph his. But when he sees your reaction or that you think their answer is iffy, they try to like morph it into an answer that suits you. Like I remember it's like he kind of halfway answered the question when I had already told him how I felt. And the answer was just iffy, but it was like enough to be like, oh, okay, he's on the same page as me. You get what I mean, y'all? The manipulation. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself again. Another thing he was talking about when it came to dating and stuff. I'm like, when he's over here talking about the talking stage is super long and whatever, because I really just need to make sure. I'm talking about, well, what do you do in the talking stage? He's telling me basically everything in a relationship. He's like, yeah, if the vibes are right, like, why not do it on the first date? Like, all my talking stages, I've only been celibate for a month. Yo, I remember his body count was insane. And again, I try not to judge, but sometimes I do consider those things, because it's not just in a sense of like of just like ew, people who are like that are like, that's not what I'm saying, but especially when it comes to men, sometimes it's just like I like to know those things and like the time frame between it, because I'm like, does it show that you have discipline, or you're just like that and you're like that now and you don't care now? You know what I'm saying? To me, it's like the timing of everything matters more. And it was giving he didn't have that many requirements. Again, y'all, this is what they be trying to tell you about watertight men. Like, I just remember he had so many crazy answers that didn't align with my beliefs, but like he just made all of them make sense. But it was still stuff that I was like, again, I was very blunt. I was like, well, that's crazy. I was like I literally was always very honest with him when he would answer with very stupid answers. Because, like I said, he was an airhead. I would be like, well, you ain't getting none until you're my boyfriend. Like, I would like be very honest. Like, wow, I wouldn't stick around for that. I'm not letting anyone touch me who's not my boyfriend. Like, I would be very blunt about my standards back, and he would just be like, okay, and I'd be like, okay, nigga, okay. Fast forward, I don't know, 3 days, y'all. This talking stage wasn't even a week. Every day, he's telling me, like he said, he never confided in someone this way before. He never had all these realizations about his trauma. Every day, y'all, I'm playing therapist. Like, he's like, this came up, what do you think about this? um this happened, and I'm just worried, and I'm getting too comfortable, but I shouldn't get too comfortable with you. And this is like, I don't know how to even explain it, y'all, because it feels like it was such a long time ago. This was August. Imagine this is a boy you don't know, because like I said, I only known him for a couple days. But it's like how when your best friend comes and is like, this came up and I really need someone to talk to about it. That's how he was treating me, y'all. Like, this came up and I want to know what you think about this. Like, do you think this is right? Do you think that is right? Or this, like, can I talk to you about this? This came up, but then I don't know if I should be confiding in you, but then continues to confide in me. But then, like, do you have the space to talk? Like, y'all, it was like he just like fully took advantage of, I guess, this feeling and this connection. And like, I just feel really comfortable talking to you. And I'm trying to say this because, like, yes, it's a lot, but the type of person I am, like, even on YouTube, y'all, some of you guys have messaged me, been very like open and vulnerable with me in DMs. And of course, if I have the space, I do not mind replying, y'all, because this is why I do what I do. Like, I care about y'all back, and I love, you know, I like helping people. I like making people feel comfortable. And so, especially with the guy I'm trying to date, I was like, this is a lot. This is a lot that you're like kind of just rushing into me. But I was like, but I do like, I am messing with you. And it's like, to me, it wasn't like a thing where it's like, ah, this is too much. He shouldn't be doing this early. Because it was like, we really did bond off of those things. And I really felt like honored that someone was able to like have these conversations with me. Y'all, I'm giving this man new insights. I'm giving him reassurance. I'm building his self confidence up. Like, y'all know those paragraphs where you're reassuring your friend, reassuring your whatever, giving them confidence, telling them it's okay. I'm doing all of that for a guy I met 3 days ago, which is fine, which is fine. Y'all, one day we're just talking about a whole bunch of stuff, and he's overthinking. He's overthinking about his trauma. He's overthinking about, I guess, the differences in our like standards and stuff. And he's like, well, this, like, one thing I don't understand, y'all, as a young woman, please tell me if you can relate. Why do older men be pursuing you and then they constantly bring up the age gap? And like I said, the age gap wasn't weird. It was definitely an age gap, but he was like 4 years older than me. He was like, I feel like I'm gonna be judged if I date someone like you, and then I don't know, I've kind of feel like because you have a difference in the talking stage answer that you might make me feel like it's weird. It's y'all. He was just coming at me with a whole lot, and I was just like, again, it was one of those things where it's like, nigga, I don't know you like that. I'm not even overthinking about you like that because I don't know you like that. But I was just like, I mean, you know all these things. You still proceeded to talk to me. I'm like, we're a couple days in. I'm like, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. Like, if we can't come to it, like, I was just like, I don't know, y'all. It's just like he leaned into me so quickly. And I was just thinking, y'all, I was just thinking, like, something just went off in my brain. And I was like, this boy, I'm like, I'm being this boy's free therapist. I'm like, hold up, did he ever really answer if I was the only one he was talking to? And good thing this sense went off in my brain. So I get done talking to him, being his therapist, assuring him. And I'm like, wait, I feel like when we talked on the phone that one night, you kind of didn't fully answer my question. And I was like, I kind of am giving you a lot. And I want to be, which, and like what I just explained to y'all, where I was just like, I don't mind like being there for you and being someone you can talk to, but I was just like, honestly, am I the only girl you're talking to? Because I was like, I don't even really know, and I'm kind of giving you a lot. Why did he? Y'all, why is he gonna say, um, no, honestly, I was talking to one girl before you, and we don't really like talk all the time like we do, though. Like, it's not like the connection I feel to you and the closeness I feel to you. Like, but I was talking to a girl before you, and we still be talking. And he said a lot of, I said, oh. And again, y'all, to me, it's just the principle of being honest about if you're talking to other people. Like when I asked you the first time, no, okay, it's the principle of you knew my standard and you knew you weren't the right standard and you still chose to keep it from me. And then like I said, y'all, I'm like, I'm being this man's free therapist. I'm building him up and letting him confide in me about all this deep dark stuff. And I met you a couple days ago and I can't even be the only one. Like, so I said exactly what I just told y'all, where I was like, honestly, I'm not gonna talk to you anymore. I was like, I mean, you're cool. Like, if you really do need to talk to me, I guess I'll talk to you. But I was like, you knew that was my standard, and you still chose to keep that from me. And I was like, I'm like doing a lot and like taking a lot of my time and my energy, like taking in your traumas and stuff. And I'm like, and I ain't even the only one. Like, and I was just like, and y'all want to know what this boy said back? He said, "Damn, I should have lied." Get out! He said I should have lied. This is what y'all be talking about when you talk about Scorpio men. I mean, I was gagged, y'all. I was just basically like, why would you say that? Like, thinking it would help your case. This is why I call him airhead. That's a thought that you keep to yourself. But anyways, like I said, he's just trying to be all sentimental. I wish you the best. I've really never met a girl like you. I've never had a connection with someone like you. I've never this and that. You're gonna find the perfect man. You're pretty on the inside and the outside. And I'm just like, okay, I basically just leave him on red because I already told him, like, whatever. But y'all, this was magic. This was like the beginning of the day before I went to work. The whole day, he's like stalking me, watching my stories hella quick, just like being weird. And like I said, y'all, this guy confided in me about all this deep, dark stuff. And like I said, I still have a heart. Like I said, it wasn't deep. I wasn't that sad about not talking to him anymore. Like, boy, I knew you for 4 days. But I was like, honestly, I didn't respond to him, and like he really seems like he has more. I was like, I don't know. I'll give him one more chance to say something. Why? Probably because I was bored. So I remember at the end of the day, I was like, Airhead. I'm like, Airhead, I see you watching my stories all quick and stuff. I'm like, you made the choice to not fully be honest with me. and I made my choice, but I was like, I still care about how you feel. Like, is there something you need to tell me? Because, like, I see how you're acting. And he's basically like, yeah, can I call you soon? Don't ever let them call you. Because after this, you're going to see. He calls me. And again, he's just saying, like, I've been beating myself up all day because I really, like, I messed up and I never felt a connection like this before so closely. And I just always mess things up. Like, y'all, he was just really, like, doing all that. And, like, honestly, I just got to a point where I was like, I'm gonna stop you there. Like, he kept saying the same stuff. I was like, if you really felt all those ways, you never had a connection with someone this fast, you never felt so close with someone this fast. I was like, if you truly wanted me and you believed all those things, then I was like, all you would do was stop talking to the other person. I was like, it's literally that simple, but you don't want to do it. And I was like, I'm not put anybody to change your mind or try to get you to choose me. Like, so I was like, literally, like, the choice and the fate of this whole connection you want to miss out on is literally in your hands. But I'm like, you just don't want to give up. You just don't want to give up talking to other people. So I was like, I really don't want to hear all that. Like, the Scorpio, wow, wow, it really came out real quick because I was just like, and he's over here talking about, like, well, literally giving Scorpio manipulation, literally being like, well, you never really gave me the choice. You kind of just said we were done talking. Like, you didn't even try to see how we could work it out. I was like, work what? I was like, you said you were talking to other people. You didn't tell me you had plans of stopping. And I was like, I'm not going to ask you to or make you. Like, what? Like, what people always say, don't make people choose, just see what they would rather do. And that's where you stand. And again, that's what y'all, I don't know. Like, I don't want to judge all Scorpio men, but this conversation was a headache. He literally just kept going on about, like, oh, well, I just feel like I can't put all my eggs in one basket because I've been hurt so bad before.
Oh my God, my Shayla, my Shayla.
And I would really just have to see you before I do all that. Oh, you'd have to see me first, but you don't have to see me first before you tell me all your deep, dark, traumatic shit. And you want me to reassure you about it and cradle you to it. But you gotta meet me. I gotta meet you first for you to be the only one, but you could be my free therapist though. Y'all, I'm just like, he just kept saying the same stuff. I've really never felt a connection like this. I mess up. I messed everything up. I always mess everything up. But then I don't want to put it in. Like, he literally kept going back and forth, and I was just like, do you have anything different to say? Like, do you have anything different to say, or are you just gonna keep saying the same things? And he's like, well, yeah. And I was like, okay. I was literally like, you made your decision, so stand on it. I was like, stop saying the same stuff. Like, I was like I literally just got fed up about it. And I was like, okay, bye. And he's like, bye. And I never spoke to him again, y'all. Isn't that such a stupid story? I never spoke to him again. However, a couple weeks before I started dating my now man, like, so like a month and a half after I went no contact with Arrow, I remember he was still watching my story. Again, I just don't understand men because I'm like, I knew you for 5 days. You lost me because you wanted me and all my benefits, but you didn't want to prioritize me. And then we have all these different conflicts that don't match up. And then you're still, I was like, oh, so this is what dating apps are about. Yeah, guys, that was a very stupid story time of the man who cried relationship. We all have a story time like that. If you guys have a story time like this, that's just very stupid and not that deep in what was that, comment down below. Or if you have a real story of someone that you were messing with, someone who did get you for a second with that situationship, y'all were actually seeing each other, comment that too, y'all. I want to know all the tea. What do you think about the story, y'all? Would you have stopped talking to him after the first red flags? Do you think I gave him enough grace? Like, What do you think? What do you think? I just feel like that story is so stupid. Like uh, a man telling me that he should have lied to my face. Like that's a first. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this story. I will be back with more and more bangers all 2025. Have a safe, happy new year. Okay, check out my other videos if you haven't already. Check out my other socials. And yeah, we will just be coming back bigger and better. It's almost my 1 year YouTube anniversary. Thank you guys for being here. Okay, guys, thank you so much for stopping in Alicia's Yap City. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye.